This story is called Grandpa's Quilt. It was written by Betsy Franco, and the illustrations were done by Linda A. Bild. This story is adapted from an old Finnish noodlehead tale. Noodlehead tales are folk tales that preserve the wisdom of the simple common people. Grandpa lived with Anna, Ben, and Lily. Grandpa sat in his bed all winter long. He read stories to Anna, Ben, and Lily. Grandpa loved his cozy quilt. Red and yellow were his favorite colors. But Grandpa's quilt was too short. His toes were very cold. And in this illustration, we can see that Grandpa's quilt is 6 rows long, head to toes, and 6 squares wide, from the left to the right. The children turned the quilt around. Grandpa's toes were still cold. Anna cut off the top of the quilt. She sewed it to the bottom. Grandpa's toes were still cold. Ben cut and sewed. He made the red star into a red diamond. Grandpa's toes were still cold. Lily cut out all the squares. She sewed them together again. Now the quilt was long and thin, just like Grandpa. And in this picture, we can see that what Lily did was rearrange the quilt squares so that instead of 6 by 6, it's now 4 squares wide and 9 squares long. Same number of squares, different arrangement. Grandpa's toes were warm all winter long. The author, Betsy Franco, is from the West Coast. The illustrator, Linda Bild, is originally from the Midwest, but now lives in California on the West Coast, at least part of the year. And these two educators put together a book that really only uses 62 different words. Here's the list. If you were able to read along with this book and you knew all but maybe 1 or 2 words, this is a just right book for you to read. You can read it to yourself, or you can read it to a younger sibling or to a friend. If you need help with more of those words, then it's not quite a just right book for you, but you're close. This reading series for young learners is called Rookie Reader, and there's some other fun stories that you can find, stories like Messy Bessie, Sam's Pet, and Wait, Skates. So if you enjoy doing tangrams, or you like thinking about math and geometry, or you just like stories about grandchildren and one of their grandparents, this was a good story for you. This has been Grandpa's Quilt by Betsy Franco, illustrated by Bild.